An absolutely massive deal with the UFC today, scoring a huge deal with Paramount Plus and CBS for the distribution rights of UFC events moving forward. Let's go ahead and take a look at the deal right here. An average annual value of 1.1 billion, according to the two companies, for the next 7 years. For context, ESPN deal, which yes, I know the irony is not lost on me of where we are reading this from, but the annual deal for that was around 215 million a year, so a near 5 times increase with Paramount and CBS. Paramount will exclusively distribute the UFC's full slate of marquee number events, also previously known as the pay-per-views, and 30 fight nights on its platform, Paramount Plus. This is amazing to me. With selected number of events also set to simulcast on CBS starting in 2026. That is an absolutely incredible note. That means events like UFC 319, Hamza Shemaev versus Dricus du Plessis coming up this weekend, which we will talk about later in the week. You no longer have to pay $70, $80 to watch it on a buggy ESPN Plus platform that barely works and is a mess. Now you get to do it for free with the CBS platform. I kid, you still have to pay for the Paramount Plus subscription, but there's a chance it can also be simulcast on CBS and television network, which is where you see NFL games, college football games. We know the college football, the SEC 3 p.m. game that CBS was synonymous for years. Basketball, baseball, etc. UFC gets to be alongside those, available to millions more eyes. How many people, most importantly, to say the pirated streamers, you all have won. You no longer have to worry about it. Rest in peace, those who survived. We appreciate your hard work for those of us over the years who have had to watch those streams because we couldn't afford the $85 for a pay per view, especially when you had one or two marquee fights and the rest were cannon fodder. So, this is an absolutely huge note for UFC fans. Notice here from Dana White, it puts the UFC amongst the biggest sports in the world. The exposure is going to be absolutely incredible. That $1.1 billion per year. Hey, I don't know where CBS is coming up with that. Same with Paramount, because last I heard Paramount was struggling a bit. So this tells me the subscriptions costs are probably going to go up a little bit. It's probably might go up quite a bit, but we'll wait and see for sure. That CBS deal was huge because the TV ads are still a prominent feature, especially for live sporting events. We've seen the NFL deals, the NBA deals. We know how those TV market deals go now. With CBS and UFC, they get to be part of that, which means no more pay-per-views. We no longer have to worry about that. This is very interesting because that exposure is absolutely huge. It's gonna put the sport in even front of even more eyes. UFC is a huge sport around the world as is. The reason we see pay-per-view numbers not really prominent, like we saw the McGregor having the top 7 with several million, but we struggle to see any crack 300K reportedly in recent years. A lot of that is because it's so darn expensive. People aren't willing to shell out $85 twice a month to watch these fights, especially Armin Sarukian pulling out the day before. If you spend money on that, you're livid. So this leaves a lot of leeway in that regard too. People are more likely to sit down and watch a free UFC card on a Saturday night. They're willing to get a bunch of guys together and watch it on CBS. Kinda like we see with the afternoon tailgates in the not tailgates, but, like, in the house football parties that you see on Sundays. Now you can see that Saturday nights for fight nights. This is an incredible deal for the fans that just love the sport. It no longer costs an arm and a leg to be a fan of the sport. 13 times 85, my math is not very strong right now, but that's pretty close to $1,000 if I'm not mistaken, just to watch the pay-per-views. That's not including the ESPN Plus subscription that it came with. So this is absolutely incredible. Plus the CBS, let's say Paramount Plus goes up to 30, let's say it's $20 a month or give or take. That you're already getting that for all the other things that it offers, not just for UFC. Now you throw UFC on top of it. That is incredible. I don't remember the numbers for the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson Netflix fight, which was on a free streaming service like that. But we know that had massive viewership. Now you do this, you throw that in front of advertisers. Maybe, just maybe, my fingers are crossed. Us OG UFC fans are hoping for it. Now with this potential with so much more, they'll get rid of that stupid uniform deal so the fighters can have their own unique shorts again, which means even more advertiser money. The OG Anderson Silva yellow and black ones with the Burger King, the Shogun Venom super short white ones, the Chocolate L Iceman blues, all these different ones that I think they could bring back. I think they should bring that back as well. Let the advertising money is going to be massive on this. I'm curious how that money will be distributed. That is 1.1 billion. Does that go to fighters? Does that make up for the champions that have pay-per-view points? Do they get that extra incentive when they're champions? Because those pay-per-view points are basically like their version of commission. Now they don't have those as an option. Does this mean, hey, yours had 2 million people watch it live during your event, so you get this 3 million, 5 million, etc. I'm curious what kind of bonus pay structure they have out of that, or if this just means all of the flat rates are gonna come up, which if that's the case, the floor is gonna be much higher, which is gonna be wonderful, but the ceiling, I think, will be much lower, which might hurt some of those higher echelon stars. They may prefer that model where they have virtually unlimited power, just depend unlimited earning power depending on how much they sell. So I'm curious how UFC is going to structure that. So maybe instead of 10 to show, 10 to win, maybe it's like, let's just say with all this money, it's now 50 to show, 50 to win. Just I don't know if it'll be that high, but we're gonna go big with that one. But what does that mean for those upper echelon champions that were maybe getting 600 to show, 600 to win plus pay-per-view points? And that could get them like $3 million if it's a good selling one, 4 million, etc. If they get a couple dollars per pay-per-view. How do they balance that out? I'm looking forward to see what that is like. But in theory, this should mean more money for the fighters, more exposure, more advertising, and most importantly, we all get to watch this without having to shell out $1,000 on just the pay-per-views alone, not including the streaming services, ESPN Plus, the UFC streaming service, all the other stuff it takes to be a fan. Hopefully, this means the ticket prices for in-person events comes down just a little bit because they are astronomical at this point. So maybe since they're so easily available on CBS, Paramount Plus, that brings those ticket downs a bit. Hopefully, this balances out all across the board. But this move is huge for the UFC fight fans. I'm curious to see how it works out. I'm curious what this means with Dana White too. Does he stick around with such a huge deal, or was this the pinnacle? He got it alongside those. Then he moves on to power slap boxing and all those other random endeavors. He's even said himself he loves to take those ones that feel dead and then make them something. This is now something, and he's clearly been distracted and stretched thin. We see it in a lot of the press conferences. So I'm curious how this works and what's going to happen with that potential White House pay per view card. What was going to be a pay per view card? Does that go on CBS? Is that like a one off pay per view? Does this just have a massive ratings across Paramount Plus? There's a lot of interesting that comes with this. Fight fans, we made it. If this goes according to plan, Paramount Plus is a set up streaming service too. I'm curious, assuming it can handle live events and a max influx of live viewers, then we've made it. We no longer have to deal with buggy ESPN Plus or anything like that. This is an incredible deal for UFC fight fans. UFC has had its ups and downs in recent years. I think there's been a lot of complaints about fight cards, price, etc. But this is a huge step in the right direction. The one thing they could do to make this even better, we have a handful of pay-per-views the rest of the way. August is absolutely stacked. Not August, excuse me. October is absolutely stacked with multiple pay-per-views and fight nights. There's a November and December pay-per-view left, I believe. Load those bad boys up. Let's just go out with a bang with the pay-per-view model. Yeah, just go unleash it all. Let's get we can get Ilya Tapuri at the end of it. If not, let's go ahead and get maybe Armin and Patty as a co-main event. Let's get all the title fights out there. Alexandre Pantoja versus Joshua Van. See if we can get. See, we have Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev coming up. Get that out there. We already have Tom. He's scheduled. Light heavyweight is scheduled. Middleweight's happening this weekend. If it's depending on how it ends, see if we can get Dricus or Hamzat by the end of the year. That would be incredible. Welterweight we already talked about. Lightweight. There's a lot of contenders I need to sort out, so you can sprinkle those out throughout. Armin versus Patty, Justin versus Dan Hooker, perhaps, or we could just have Justin fight Ilya, then give Dan Hooker Max Holloway at the end of the year. There's some really good fights they could sprinkle in there throughout the lightweight division. Featherweight, you got some really good fights. Alexander Volkanovski, maybe get I don't know who they have him fight. Maybe Masvar Evelev, even though he just pulled out again for the 11th time. I don't know if you give him a title fight. Get him on a fight at the end. We already have Marab coming back. There's so much that we can end this year with a bang and put the pay-per-view model to bed. I am so excited for this. Hopefully you all are all too. Let us know down below if you think this will be a good move or if there's something maybe we're missing. Maybe there's a catch in here where it still doesn't work out great. But assuming the Paramount Plus subscription doesn't spike 90 degrees north like I'm partially worried it will, I think this is an incredible deal for the fans. But let us know down below what you think. We'll see you all again next time.